we know the facts, we are on the ground, we experience these challenges. My last point, Chair. This company across the road, they are not themselves. They are not themselves, not after the incident happened on the 4th of December, not the incident that happened a couple of years back. They have displayed that, and the city of eThekwini has allowed them. I think we need a proper investigation to understand why Engen has this upper hand on our local authority. Chair, I even made this on my presentation when we visited Parliament. I said we need to compare apples with apples. The company on the other side of the community called Sapphire, I'm not giving them a green light, but they are also problematic. They are also causing ill health to our communities. But over the years, we've monitored the two. And that company over that side, called Sapphire, the explosions ever since I came to this organization in 2008 May, that explosions, explosions from that company, they are less than 10. I'm talking about major explosions. But when it comes to chemical emissions, they are releasing the A2S and so forth and so forth. They are problematic. But I'm talking about major incidents that impact on community and health and the environment. But this very company right here, I did mention this in front of them in Parliament to say they are problematic. They explode like it's out of fashion. And this is causing unrest to the communities that are surrounding the very same industry. I'd like to stop there for now, sir. Thanks.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Tracy Williams. I'm from an organization called Wentworth Angels. I speak on the greater parts of Wentworth and Merebank. The explosion affected many homes physically and psychologically, and one of our local doctors, Dr. Pillay, without hesitation, took a team into our community who assisted with medicals for the people who suffered with coughing, headaches, blocked ears, asthmatic attacks. The list can go on. Even their skins were affected. All diagnosed and treatment was given. All records are available at his office. The homes in our community that were affected by this explosion. Old people are still sleeping without windows because they're still waiting for people to come and assess. And then we have cracks in the front of people's homes. That also hasn't been. They're unsafe in their homes. For how long are these investigations going to go on with the explosion from the 4th of December? I see this as total disrespect to the communities and to us leaders representing our people. How do we respond to our community when we got no response from Engen? Engen will receive our letter and respond to us 7 or 8 days, maybe even 10 days, am I right, Uncle Jens? Later. Engen has shown us complete disrespect with regards to communication and assisting those affected. And today I'm hopeful that out of this meeting, our community is heard. We're standing here to represent not just our flat that was affected by this explosion, but Wentworth, Merebank and Bluff. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm one of the tenants of the flat Parliamentary. What the lady is saying, what the lady is saying, 100% right. It is what the lady is saying that people want money, right? Now the problem is that the people want money from them because we want to sue them. Our flats are standing there from the 4th of December. Before you do investigation, you do a flash report. Engen needed to do a flash report within 24 hours of what went wrong in an explosion. Within 7 days, they needed to do an investigation and close out the investigation in 7 days. It's now gone 1, 2, we're on the 3rd month. They're still doing investigation. Nonsense. It's nonsense. I'm a safety officer and I know what I'm doing. Right? We left there now, our flats are burnt. Everything they checked, they said we must go out. We sat outside there, the old people sat outside the whole day. The whole day till 5 o'clock in the afternoon. I think Blacks is here, he's my witness. No food, no nothing. We get asked, did Engen cause that explosion? The time when that explosion happened, there those things, we get flying particles that flew into our block of flats and burnt our flats. In a risk assessment, it tells you that you have flying particles. If you use a grinder, you have flying particles. Now in an explosion, you have flying things flying all over the place. Now they ask, did they do that? How can you ask to do? So who burnt the flat? The baby got burnt in the flat. A baby got burnt in the flat. And what's Engen's policy? Safety first. Nothing came of that child. Nothing. I've never seen a safety officer come up there. I've never seen a manager come up there and call the tenants together and say, come guys, let's sit down, let's talk. This morning we went to a meeting in Engen, they said we're not allowed it. We are the tenants, 6 of us from our block, from every block, went to that meeting. We weren't allowed in it this morning. They put us into these decanters here, rotten. We stay with cockroaches, the walls are sticky with fat all over the place. There's spiders all over the place, there's no nuts on the floor, nothing. So why is Engen doing that to people? And they're saying the people don't like it. The people want to sue them for money. Mr. Dessau has been trying for years to get things right for the environmental. I was a small boy when Mr. Dessau was trying to do that. We can't get it right. Where do we get help from to help us now with all that's happening here now? The baby's burnt, nothing's done. They never took the baby to hospital. The dad taking the baby to hospital himself on his medical aid, on Engen's thing. Now they're sitting back, we're looking to talk to somebody. We can't talk to nobody in Engen. No one's coming to the party. No one has come up to our flats and said, we here from Engen, what happened? Nothing. We don't know, as I was saying, the investigation is still going on. For how long is the investigation going to go on? For another 6 months? Everybody's using COVID. Everybody's going to get it. I got it, I almost died. So I'm right now. Clear, got me right, I'm fine. Everybody's going to get COVID. It's a jam that's all over. We're going to try to be clean. It's going to get us. Engen using that as an excuse now. Why? Somebody from Engen should be here to represent everybody here now. Not challenging. Want to know what's happening in Engen. It's a big company. The people are crying. They're crying now. We got no homes. Our home is standing. We don't know what's going on. They bought us furniture. Everybody the same furniture. Will you want the same furniture that I got as neighbors? We don't want that. They put the furniture in our house. All blue lounge suites. All black stoves. All the same beds. Everybody with the same thing. Just thrown in there. No carpet, no mats, no nothing. We don't know where we stand. They put us in a hotel. And they say they put us in a hotel. They did a good thing. It's their fault. They burnt our flat. We didn't burn our flat. But they're not coming to the party. Nothing. I found the housing. The housing says that people are representing us. Who represented us? We are the tenants of that block. It's my flat. I'm representing myself. Mr. Wiseman's there. His child is burnt. He's sitting every day. He's not going to work. It's a trauma for him. He's going to lost his child. But nobody's saying nothing. And what's Engen's policy? Safety first. You go in, you must get inducted. You must get medical. You must do this, do that. And are they keeping to it? Are they keeping to the standard? They're a petroleum company. They're a billionaire company. We don't want their money. Sort us out. What belongs to us, give it to us. Come to us. Tell us what's going on. Let us know what's happening, and then we can stop there. We don't want money from them. We want them to sort all our things out. That's all we want from them. And nobody's doing it. We're going from this thing to that. And now the housing has charged them. So now there again, the tenants are standing free. We got no one to represent us again. Because now the housing will open up a charge against Engen. So when I called him, he said, no. We open up a charge against it. So they're fighting Engen. What happens to us people? All our clothes, all our shoes, all our TVs, everything is buggering. They're giving us 20,000 rand, 25,000 rand. I think it's a lot of money. Huh? We're coming from the old school. All our stuff in our flats is good stuff. It's not cheap stuff. We come and dump these second-hand things in our flat. And we're human beings at the end of the day, guys. Please, if you guys can help us. Thanks.
Thank you, Honorable Chairperson, for the government raising this meeting. Before I get into the points of lemonade, I'm surely that someone is taking minutes of meeting of this proceedings. Okay, thank you. My name is Mr. Devarajendra Naidu, known as Daya Naidu from the MRA, Merebank Residents Association. Mr. Devarajendra Naidu, known as Daya Naidu from the Merebank Residents Association. I think Engen needs to take accountability, and we've been oppressed for a number of years. What psychological or social responsibility or counseling have they provided to the people in the area? I'm talking the entire Ward 68, be it Block 10, be it the Ausbluff, be it Merebank, Wentworth. Nothing. As my honorable colleague Tracy alluded to, with medical has been sorted out. Poverty, as my colleague is being instrumental. I'm a safety person as well. I deal with disaster management, risk management as well. He's 100% correct. In emergency, where do our community go? Initially it was a race course. The race course has been taken over. Then the upper ridge goes to the beach. The beach is being renovated. What would have happened to us? Did they have the plans and preparedness into place? The answer is no. Okay. Why, as in the Department of Corporate Governance, who are responsible in South Africa to meet with the NGO, which that was not even reach fruition to date. The assessments of OM, and this is of current day before yesterday, the assessor for Engen wants elderly people to sign a declaration of interest to say that they have came and assessed the property and they require an affidavit, which I will provide that on WhatsApp to you. But to exonerate Engen from the responsibility, yes, you may have an airline crack at your property, but the explosion resulted and expanded to much more detriment to the family. And there are old people that we are here to serve, and we serve the community of Merebank, Wentworth, Ausbluff, and so on. Safety, risk management, disaster management. Do they have those things in place? Who are the point of safety officers? Who is a 16.1 appointment? Who is a 16.2 appointment? I can backdate the letters, very easy to give it to you. But did they have it in place? Or your 17.2 safety officers? Or safety ref, my apologies. Would procedures and compensation for medical bills, the child that got burnt? What about a long-term sustainability for plastic surgery or long-term medical bills? They have not come. They're making the NGOs, like we are inverted commas, stupid in the area. And from the explosion, they must take responsibility for action, work with a collaborative approach. But let's not shift your responsibility. Okay? Then I like the approach that you indicated, Honorable Chairperson. You know, communities to govern themselves and we encourage it. That's excellent. That's what we are doing. But does Engen do that? No. We are torn amongst the flesh. We are here to work together, not against each other. I think Engen needs to afford us the dignity and respect. Because for far too long, they make promises. The dignity and respect is never afforded to any one of us here, even the communities. And we sacrifice leaving work, the income of people that sustain injuries were to be relocated from home. The loss of income as not justified. We don't want the money from them. We're saying do what is right. The assessor's credential needs to be questioned from the insurance perspective. Okay? Just a few more. Psychological, and I think we have suffered from far too long. Poverty is a result, also part of environmental degradation. And I'm saying that Engen needs to build mutual trust, understanding, and local participation, okay? Which they do not do that. Now, and if Engen's intention to close, is it going to be used as a toxic site, or a dumping site, or a trucking site? We need to have answers, and we as the elected community would need to know. It's of cardinal importance, you know, for us to advise our community. But what they intend doing, no, don't worry about the community. This is one time we as a strong community for Wentworth, Merebank, Ausbluff, is yet to stand, and we are appealing to the committee here to look into it deeper. And we need the support of councillors in our area as well. and to work together and not against each other. Thank you, Honourable Chairperson.
The name.
And that's where the state of mind is at that moment. And perhaps Engen was not in the same position as we, as residents. But I tell you, when you guard in your home, when you are the protector, and you yourself as the protector is under fire and does not know what to do, it is a scary moment. Actually a scary moment. So for me, Engen has to just settle down and bear the community into consideration. For years we've been sitting with Engen under the ECL. Community liaison, we've been doing that for years. Why are they not practicing that? Here we are, crying out. While my house might have had a crack, it was the event of Engen that brought it to its breakdown. Engen is quick to point out there was a crack, maintenance, but it's Engen's event that brought down the break. If it was not for that event, my crack should be still standing now. So Engen must just be slow to accusation and just for a moment consider the community. People have gone through a lot. I've had an instance where an elderly man, as the guy mentioned, he has blocked up until this day, one of my residents. Regardless though, I don't think Engen has visited there because the residents there have pointed out to me Engen has not visited. They are sleeping with unlocked doors.
cold. And recently, we have found the fish line belly up in the wetland. Sorry, I actually quite emotional. The eggs aren't hatching anymore because the chemicals are killing the baby birds inside the eggs. So the birds that are surviving are laying eggs in their nests and trying to live their natural lives, and the eggs are not hatching because the babies are dying. Because the actual egg is disintegrating from chemicals. I'm not standing here as someone who wants to point out the ills of a massive petroleum company. I'm standing here as a representative of an area, and one small part of it is a beautiful, it's the oldest nature reserve in Durban. It's been there since 1974. And I feel that that is part of the heritage of the people that I represent. So besides all the other things, my entire family has eczema, asthma, you name it. We have the highest asthma in the world in this area. It's not a coincidence. I just want to bring that down, please, to a small little place just down the road where the birds and the fish cannot survive. Thank you.
I'm sure. Did I leave you? Not under. Yeah, I was just going to say that in myself from South Durban, Honourable Chair and Honourable Members of Parliament, thanks to you all to come to the community. I think it's a great relief that you are meeting the same community that we are classified as criminals, that we are violent and all that. But I mean, you inform me on it. But there are a number of points. One is that I've never seen sight of a risk assessment for the last 3-4 years or 5 years or 10 years. The last health study was completed in 2007 that showed that the cancer risk was the highest, was 25 in 100,000, the norm is 1. So the cancer risk, that was done by the city council years ago with us, the council. The second thing about it is that the asthma rate, there's an escalation of asthma and cancer in the area, so we need to know that. The third thing is this year, that the cancer, that the risk would have established the amount of explosions and fires and what should have been done if that was the case 3 years ago. Then we shouldn't have had that fire on the 4th of December. We shouldn't have had a gassing out on level 3 when the refinery starts on 2020. That's the other thing, the gas out of the fourth issue is this, and what you've heard here about this, the disrespect of Block 10, where they basically, the flat was burnt at 7:10 in the morning. The Durban fire brigade came out, right? It came to Engen there to go put out the fire. They didn't come to the community the same day because we had to end up fighting with them because they had no homes to sleep in. They came, they only sent the assessor over a week after that. Look at this, what they've done. They sent an assessor weeks later, and that assessor's report has not been available to them. Then they go and they pay for something that is the same. And they basically said to the community, because you live here, we'll give you the crumbs. And to help with what your price position that you built up over years. And I think this is the gist of the Engen city. The city hasn't visited with the people there. There's been no report from any health official that is going around or set up a health clinic in the area. And I think that's the gist of this whole thing, is that we still got people, and I know when we had that webinar, we showed you the child, you understand? His baby, he was on the webinar. His child was all burnt over the show, moving on the top. The entire flat was been done. The entire flat was been done. The entire area has been traumatized. But we want you as members of the portfolio committee, including with the prophets, to really look at these issues with a fine-tooth comb. Because I think we are relying on you to do what's right, to ensure that no stone is unturned to get to the truth. And it's up to you all to do it, and how you do it. You need our assistance, whatever you do. I think it's critical and important because You are public figures, you are the parliament of the country, you represent the community and people of this country. And we should be working with you to ensure that the health of the people that was affected. What was put in place? Nothing. Nothing was put in place. You heard Tracy saying that today. That nothing was put in place until the private doctors came and done something. Others had to go to government hospitals. Others had to go and use buying medication and go and pay for them through the bills. Engen is not saying they're responsible for that. They are washing their hands of it. So somewhere along the way, we need the Parliament, all the reports that they're going to get from Engen, to really, we really need to get to the bottom of this so that they, because we are going to wait now for Parliament to come back and report to us. You heard people saying that they're still living in a bad state. They need to get back to home, they need to get clothing, they need to get things, they need to get food. We really need Parliament to put some urgency on them. We really need to get Parliament to put urgency on them so that the issues that the community has identified here is going to be dealt with. Can't wait. You heard Engen saying the meeting is going to be in March. We really can't wait till March. I mean, by then, what do people change into? We've already got enough unemployment and poverty in the country. So Parliament has to take the necessary steps now, and there must be direct communication with the Engen refinery to inform them. Community can't wait for a couple of days, a couple of months. We need action from their side now, and they should be meeting the community. Thank you, sir.
I'm sure now, because we also have asked questions from you to be clear exactly. I hear you well when you said this. But one thing that I think we must put it aside immediately from the first speaker. National Parliament acknowledged that there is local government here. So we can't behave as if we are not there. By implication, we must take their responsibility. Fortunately, we have the province here, and so in other words, talking doesn't break any friendship. Instead, it builds it. There's no way. So in other words, we don't expect people from here to wait for some process that will go through before any action can be taken. I think we did raise the concern with Engen. One about not talking directly to community. So we expect action. If not by them, then it must be facilitated by local leadership. So in other words, whatever that we are going to say here does not stop that. Instead, if it is encouraging so that there's direct communication. The question that she was asking, here we were when I said, it can only be corrected when there is direct talk. In other words, we will always have those, I heard them this way, that must be direct talk. So I'm sure we would want to leave this with the leadership before I allow members to say some process urgently needs to be started where we open up. Nobody is denying that we must start event of a blast. We have also said it. Now the impact of it, we have heard about it. Now we are hearing from you, we have heard about it from them. And I'm saying, if you talk about it together, it would be better. It will not have no miscommunication. But I just wanted to I'll allow honorable members, if there are any questions, I'll take your hand. If there are any questions that you would want to have, whilst in the meantime I'll be taking these three hands. I'll start with you, sir, come to you, and then you, and then you.
Me first, sir? Thank you so much. Good afternoon, Chair, everybody, all protocol of For me, I want to thank the Portfolio Committee for coming to our community today. Too often in our community, the only time we see high-level politicians is around election time. That's a common refrain that you hear in the community. So for me, it's a proud moment to see the Portfolio Committee here because it allows us to demonstrate the access we have to our government, and it allows it to be seen out there in the community at large. You know, often we enter into these type of communications, especially with companies such as Engen, in particular Engen, and we arrive here with the best intentions of being as calm as possible and demonstrating our best nature. And somehow, some way, this massive beast just gets the hair on the back of our heads standing up by their actions and some of the things they say about our community and the way they treat us. So we arrive at a place where we are negotiating with them on the one hand. We've entered into a negotiation, a mediated negotiation process. The mediator is here, a well-respected advocate, Carthy. We engage with them in a very calm and professional manner. Our delegation is made up of Mr. Desa, who has international accolades in this area, dealing with environmental issues. I represented the community as a business owner and part of a foundation that represents more than 20 businesses. Collectively, over the last 10 years, we've turned over more than 2 billion rand collectively. We are not spaza shop owners exclusively, while we respect spaza shop owners completely. We are here to enter into negotiations with Engen with seriousness. With seriousness. Because we expect results for our people. Now imagine when they come and they turn around and say they are scared to come here and face the community. And it's not the first time they're saying this. Who are these people that they are scared of? What are they scared of? We should be scared. We should be scared. They're dropping explosions on us on a regular basis. They are spitting poisonous gases on our people on a regular basis. I grew up in this community. We could go fishing for guppies, multicolored guppies. I understand what the ladies say. In summer, you couldn't drive along a Highbury road. Who remembers? You couldn't drive along Highbury Road without squashing frogs. There were frogs like you won't believe. It looked like it was something out of a movie. That is the nature that these people have destroyed. And now they're saying they're scared of us. How can it be? How can it be? What can we do to them? We come in, we say, let's talk. We're saying, let's talk. We're saying, let's show results for our talking. Is that what they're scared of? Is that what they fear now? The fact that the community has found its voice. They've done this. They've brought this community together. Because it's easy for us to rally around this common enemy. And this committee must please put them in their place and tell them that this is unacceptable. You can't on the one hand engage in a mediated process with community and community representatives and on the other hand say you are scared of them. That's ridiculous. It's disingenuous. But it's not surprising, Chair. All the members of the Portfolio Committee, it's not surprising. Engen sits at the nexus of all the worst of our history, and the worst of how the government and business conspired to suppress a community. The absolute worst. And they hide behind that business of its national key point. Nonsense. They hide behind that. We're coming and we're engaging with them with maturity. They must be reprimanded for this, Chair. They must be. But I'm glad in a way, because it shows you I don't have to. The leaders here, there are leaders after me who will speak and provide more of a context for all of you. And such an important context for you to take into consideration. The opportunity now for environmental justice and for us to redress some of the worst parts of our past. The opportunity is here. And I, for one, am not going to sit down and ignore this opportunity and let it pass, because how long are you in this, Mr. Dissa? 25 years. Is it because of the way we speak? Is it because we're not up here with highbrow English and posh accents? Is it just because we colored? And these actions are bringing out the best and the worst in our people. Because our people are looking at our leadership and saying, see, they don't care about us. What we told you. Nelson Mandela came here. He came here to this community to come and appeal to us directly. I remember one of the best days of my life. Chris Hani was here. Everybody's been here because they recognize the importance of this community. When this community stands up, the whole country shakes. But in the spirit of moving forward, and I mean, we just need to look up. The school, within spitting distance of the refinery. That's all. Just look up. The principal didn't want to stay because he gets emotional. We need to move forward with this engagement, Chair. We need to get these people really serious about speaking to this community and listening to what we have to say. We need to get our municipal officials and our provincial officials to take their responsibility and do what they're supposed to do. I mean, you said just now that we can't ignore them. Yeah, we can. The people here have been surviving without them through all this time. We would be better served if they would participate and do what they should be doing. And I hope that this process can bring about a meaningful change for our community. And I hope this is not just another talk show. Just two things before I go, Chair. From a housekeeping administrative point of view, some of the communication between the community and the portfolio committee itself leaves some room for improvement going forward. I'd like to just present that in a formal platform in front of all the other leaders here, because I think sometimes these little miscommunications can cause massive ripple effects, within community structures. And at this point, we need as much stability, clarity, and we want all our processes to be transparent and for community to see where their leaders are, where their leaders stand, and how far we're willing to go to win this fight. Thank you.